Welcome to my world, bitch. The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Welcome to the 163rd episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast.
So, parenthetically paranormal.
My name is Jason Knight, host of the show, and with me, as always, is...
Oscar Spector.
Producer extraordinaire and podcast co-host. Well, Oscar, I have a story today.
Wow, you're not even asking.
I'm so excited.
You're not even asking, like, hey, what's been going on? You're like, I got a story. Get out of my way. Okay,
fine.
what is it?
What's been going on?
Nothing at all. You go ahead.
Okay, you got to hear this. All right, so the episode we released on January 1st, we said in that show, it was pre-recorded.
Yes,
right?
it was.
It was recorded a few days before Christmas. We went off and had our Christmas.
We've never done a live show on this show.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Oh, we've done a watch party. That was live.
No, but it did it stream live? We streamed it?
Oh, that was on Twitch.
Then yeah, I guess it was.
We streamed it live.
Then yeah,
Twitch,
you're right. We did one. Okay. Well, most of them.
We did two watch parties, I think, didn't we?
Did we? I don't remember that at all.
One was Communion, and wasn't one The Exorcist?
I remember Communion.
Yeah.
I don't remember The Exorcist.
Yeah, there's an episode out there somewhere of us live streaming The Exorcist.
That's crazy.
Or something.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, parts.
What was my point? Oh,
You have a story.
I haven't even started drinking yet. Oh, so it was pre-recorded, right?
Right.
It was before Christmas. We went off. We had our Christmas. Do you have a good Christmas?
Oh, yeah, I did.
I had a good Christmas, too.
Good.
Did you have a good New Year?
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah.
I had a good New Year, too. I was in Florida. You did send a picture. You said in that episode that you were going to send us a picture, or send me a picture of your escapades on New Year's Eve, Christmas.
I think I still have it. I usually delete all.
New Year's Eve, your birthday. And you lived up to it. You did send it to me.
Oh, I did send it to you.
I was pretty drunk. I'm like, what is this?
I don't remember sending it to you.
You did. Yeah.
I did it?
You did.
Because I was drunk. So
I don't want to waste too much time on this. But
right.
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay, that's great that I sent it because I deleted it for sure.
Because you're one of the people that I never delete text messages. Most people, I fucking delete them right away. There it is. That was it from New Year's Eve. And I wrote back. I'm like, bro, that's awesome. Love you, man. There's some other people. So you were out doing something.
Yeah.
Because remember, you were telling your story how your tradition is to go out solo and find people, make friends, do this thing, and I complimented how
I did that.
That's a great thing to do, and so you lived up to what you said you were going to do on that show, and you sent me a picture on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve.
Right, New Year's.
Not Christmas Eve.
No, not Christmas.
All right, so that brings us to
right on
the actual Christmas Eve.
Okay, the actual timeline.
The actual timeline Christmas Eve, because we haven't gotten on the mic since holidays.
Right.
So, there we are. Me, Katie, and the kids.
Okay.
We're coming home from my in-laws' house. That's where we spent Christmas Eve, at my in-laws' house. We're driving through Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's a small city between Chicago and Milwaukee. On 294. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a city, smaller city, on 294 between Milwaukee and Chicago. So we're driving through Kenosha, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. We're going down 75th Street.
Okay.
We're heading east towards the lake. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're driving. All of a sudden, my wife is like, hey, what the fuck is that in the sky? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm tired.
Right, and you do all the driving.
I do all the driving. I think I had a few beers over there or whatever. So I wanted to get home. I just wanted to get home, enjoy the rest of the evening with the family. We get the kids' pajamas on Christmas Eve, and they open their pajamas, and we watch a movie, right? So I wanted to get home and do that. So she's like, what the fuck is that in the sky?
Yeah.
Like, just stop. What are you talking about? She rolls her window down. I'm like, dude, it's cold. What are you doing? She's like...
Rolls.
All right. She presses the button.
Kids, ask your fucking grandparents. Oh, I'm sorry. Why open yourself up to such, ridicule?
All right. What do you say? She puts down the window?
Yeah.
She puts down the window. All right, so she puts down the window as I'm driving. And on 75th Street, you could go about 50-something, I believe.
Yeah, you can.
So it's cold. And she starts sticking her phone out of the window. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? She's like, look in the sky. So as I'm driving, I'm doing that thing where I'm kind of hunkering down and looking out the windshield as I'm trying not to, get into an accident.
Right.
And in the back seat, the kids are like, what is that? So sure enough, I see these lights in the sky. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty strange because, for one, they're really, really bright. They're very bright.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming out of the clouds. Not from the ground up. They're coming straight out of the fucking clouds. And they're moving.
Yes.
So you've seen, just so people know, this video is on YouTube. I'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, and you said it looked like Thor, or
like Zeus coming from the clouds, like in
right.
in the movie Hercules, like the way he comes from the clouds. You see the lights burst out first, and then Zeus appears in the sky. Like that's kind of
that's what this was like.
What it looked like, yeah.
That's what this is like. So I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
So I maneuvered to a side street or something, and we parked the car. Now we're stationary, and I'm filming up in the sky. And I think my wife described it best. She said it looked like there were cars driving around up there.
It does look like that.
Car headlights.
I was thinking like Back to the Future 2, all the flying cars in that futuristic world. Like, there's a highway up there. It's a super highway, and just it's traffic up there, and you see all these headlights whizzing by.
Yes.
Some were faster, some were slower, some stayed still. It was not. There was no pattern that I could tell.
In these lights.
Right.
In these lights from the sky. Yeah.
Right.
So we pull over and we're sitting there watching this thing, and we're trying to come up with, what could this be? Like, are we truly, is it Santa Claus? Is Santa Claus up there?
Right.
It's Christmas Eve. And we're trying to come up with these excuses like, oh, it's, one of those huge spotlights that new businesses or movie premieres, right? They get these spotlights and you see them go across the sky. There's like 8.
Yeah, I would think that too, but it's just, I don't think it's that.
It's like 8:30.
Unless someone put a spotlight in the middle of a cloud, I don't think that's what's happening here.
Well, that's my point. First, it's 8:30 on Christmas Eve. No business is advertising shit.
Right.
Second of all, it's in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Right. There's shit going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There were no sounds in the sky. It was silent. I didn't hear like helicopter blades. We didn't hear jet engines, plane engines. Nothing. Okay. 8:30. Everything shut down. What would be advertising? These lights were not coming from the ground. They were coming from out of the clouds.
Right. And the only thing that's explainable that isn't alien, I guess, is drone or drones, plural.
Drone or drones.
Right.
They would have to be. And listeners, check these lights. These lights, they're massive lights. Yeah. They're incredibly big, bright lights.
Yeah.
That would have to be an incredibly big,
and also,
multiple
clouds
drones.
Weigh a lot. They don't look like they do, but they weigh a lot. It's not easy either to maneuver in there.
I don't know. Do you mean dense? Like dense?
Yeah, I guess it's just water, right? I mean, you have to be pretty secure to be able to fly in there, right?
I don't know what cloud. I don't think they weigh anything because planes fly right through them. But dense clouds, they're thick clouds, right? Like,
yeah, maybe there's something to them.
So think of this:
I'm not a meteorologist.
Yeah, if you're driving on the highway or driving down a deserted road, even, and it's really foggy out, and you put your brights on, they tell you not to put your brights on, right? Because when you put your brights on, that light goes poof, right back into your eyes.
Yeah, you can't see
reflects
shit.
off the dense, wet moisture in those clouds, right? In the fog. That wasn't happening there. These lights were permeating those clouds, coming straight out.
Right.
In all different directions. They would stop, they would move, they would disappear, reappear. It was nuts. I don't know what this is, but we have it on our YouTube channel, and I'll link it in the notes.
Yes.
The next day, I don't know if you ever heard of the app Nextdoor.
Yes, I am familiar.
It sucks. That's where you realize that your fucking neighborhood is shit. The people suck. What they talk about and what they complain about and how petty and shitty they are.
Yeah, I've never been on it, but I know of it, and I can see that.
Every time I get on that app, it makes me want to move. But the next day, people were talking about it like, did you see what was in the sky? And this was like 75th, and I think it was Green Bay Road. What was in the sky over there by 75th and Green Bay Road, and people were like, yeah, we saw that. We don't know what it is. Someone answered, oh, it was some guy's Christmas decorations, a light show he had. Bullshit. We chased it. We went looking for it. We never found a source.
Right,
Never
and the
found a
source wasn't
from the
coming
ground.
from the ground. Right, exactly, yeah.
It was coming out of the clouds. So it wasn't just us that saw it. It wasn't just us that were perplexed by it. Other people saw it. Other people thought it was strange, too. I don't know what it was. I'm hoping it was Santa, actually. I think that would be pretty cool.
I think I'd be heartbroken if it is Santa, because that will imply a lot of other things that are kind of known to us as fables is true, in which case, why are we living such shitty lives if all these things have always existed? What did we do? What's going on? What did I do?
What didn't I do?
Right.
So
that's crazy. I saw
that's my story.
Yeah,
so you saw the video.
You should just send me the video so I'll make a TikTok out of it.
You got it. Yeah. Oh, TikTok. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. The moment I get TikTok, they fucking ban the thing.
Oh, they're about to, yeah. They just postponed it 120 days, I think. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, they did, because the government's like, oh, wait, everyone's going to China harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
But I'll do that. You can put it up on your TikTok. Yeah. What's your TikTok?
I don't know, Lunar Ridge, but I wasn't going to announce it. I was just going to post it. It's Lunar Ridge.
Lunar Ridge.
Yeah, with an underscore in the middle.
Okay.
All of my socials have lunar something.
Got it.
And it's lunar whatever the first thing I could think of. And that day was Ridge. That's how I name things. I don't name things with great meaning. I just like kind of picking whatever comes up.
But yeah, I'll send it to you. Put it up. See what other people think.
Cool.
Cool. I didn't put it anywhere but on our YouTube channel. So
yeah.
I think that's it. This was kind of interesting. A few weeks ago, I have a collection of baseball cards, and I brought them down just for the hell of it a few weeks ago, and my son wanted to see them. Nico wanted to see them, so we started going through them and stuff. Next thing I know, he's taking photos of them, right? Like, he's taking photos of them,
yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Dad,"
he's appraising them for.
That's exactly what he did. Yeah. He was like, "Hey, Dad, that thing's $200." I go, "What?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, look, eBay, $200." I go, "Nico, check the number of the card." Sure enough, the card matches.
Yeah.
$200. Take the next one. "Dad, that's $1,000. What? So we start going through all these baseball cards.
Hey.
Dude, he found a card that was like $8,000.
You're kidding.
It's a error Sammy Sosa rookie card.
Yeah.
You know, that I had.
That's how it works.
No fucking clue.
You keep things long enough.
I would say he found me well over $15,000.
That's crazy.
$17,000. Now,
that's a rainy day fund.
Yeah, I mean, pay off debt. Do so much good stuff with that money.
Yeah, right.
But the hook is someone has to be willing to pay that. Right, so I'm not saying,
no, you're right, you're right.
But I guess I never knew, like, I didn't think my son could do something. Like, you just don't.
That's technology, yeah.
Technology, right?
It can work that way, yeah.
Just,
I mean, he would be much more, if to him it's an extension of his body. To us, it's just a tool.
You're right.
It's not the same. We don't look at the things the same way he does.
You're right.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
That's every generation, by the way. Every single one.
I was like, buddy, if I could sell some of these.
For us, it was cordless phones. Okay. So, like, you know.
The day
like my day, I love the cable. We did things with the cable.
The day I couldn't lay on my tummy with my legs up behind me and the little phone cord wrapped between my tootsies.
Right.
Yeah, that was a sad day.
Sad day. Sad day for all of humanity. Yeah.
But I did tell him that I will give him a good chunk of change if I could wind up selling some of these things. But I was so impressed. I'm like, Jesus Christ, kid, thank you.
That's great. You know, speaking of that, people, it reminds me of collectors and things like of that nature. There's two things that you reminded me of real quick. One is that I forget the name of it, so don't at me to whatever. But the last remaining, give or take, Western or American company that makes Blu-rays, no more DVDs, that's been long gone. Yeah. Blu-rays and HD and stuff, 4K HD, are going bye-bye as of this year.
Wow.
So potentially, if you have, especially DVDs, but also Blu-rays, keep them. Some of them might be worth something in like 10 years or something. We don't know, because they're going to stop making them very soon. Everything's going only digital. Your collection / my collection could be worth a lot more money.
I have a massive box of DVDs back there.
There you go.
Wow. So that'll be.
It could be worth.
That'll be the next project I put Nico on.
Yeah, more like when he's 20. But yes, yeah. I mean, you can start now if you want. So there's that. And then the other thing I was going to mention, I heard about this online, or I should say, I saw a TikTok of it online. So I don't know if it's true. It just looks a little true. Is that there are people that at December every year. Yeah. Should be said December. Lego, the company, discontinues a huge chunk of their product line.
Okay.
Right, so they can add in all the new ones. Every year, it's almost random, but they always like announce it. And every year, there's this guy that buys only, I guess throughout the year, but mainly in December, buys every single one that's going to be discontinued, and then sells that a year later. Probably to make money. Yeah, yeah. That's the whole point. He just does it. He doesn't build them. He doesn't give a shit. They're sealed. Like,
that's kind of a dick move, but
But
I
also
get it.
a little bit. Yeah, that's
get
kind
it.
of cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you reminded me of that, and I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, cool.
See, with me, like the only thing I would add to that if I were him and I had that kind of capital to start that kind of process, which you kind of need to start with money, is that I would build them. And then
I can
take them
like
apart.
a fucking crack addict just ripping them
Just
apart.
And then carefully resealing them with like, I don't know what.
Dude, you have a problem.
Yeah, I have a problem.
You need help.
No, I don't need help. I need more Lego. But yeah, that's, thank you. I do have a problem.
Awesome.
First step is admitting it, but second
That's
step
right.
is getting the fuck off my plate. So let's continue.
Continuing on, we have a special bottle of whiskey I want to talk about. We're doing this kind of trend where the last, I don't know, 5 or
We've been doing this
6
for a long
episodes,
time. We just never announced it or
Correct.
gave a shit before until recently. Yeah.
where we've been tasting new bottles, giving
That's
our
true.
little opinions real quick because we're big whiskey people.
Well, you give your opinion. I'll just say it tastes good.
So we have a very special bottle today. Now, this bottle was donated to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast Tavern by my wonderful cousin Corey, or Corlando.
Oh, got it.
He donated us this bottle. It is special.
Wait, you already drank half.
I did.
Is that my half now?
I drink a lot. 'Cause-
This is my half then.
so this one we're not opening.
I'm
on
part of the show.
We're not fresh opening. I have opened this. He actually wanted to drink a little bit with me when he gave it to us. So what he expressly said this is for the show. Open it on the show. So it's a bourbon whiskey. It's called McTavish Legacy Series by McTavish Spirits, which is out of Riverview, Florida. Now the guy who owns this company, who produced this liquor, his name is Graham McTavish from Glasgow, Scotland. Now, Graham McTavish is probably best known, and you might know who he is. He played Sir Harold Westerling in The House of the Dragon.
Yep.
And he was Lord Commander of the King's Guard under King Viserys I Targaryen. And he was known for his honor and chivalry. So he was one of the good people, the good guys.
Yeah, and then you got, that fucking asshole took over his job and
Yes,
that coal
but
guy.
he did die of natural causes in the show and in the books.
Yeah.
He wasn't horribly murdered like most
like most of the characters, yeah.
He's been in the TV show Outlander. He's been in the Hobbit trilogy.
Oh, okay. So he picks very
The Witcher.
specifically periods of time.
Absolutely.
These all three are connected, by the way. They're all similar periods of time.
Yes, yes. Creed, Aquaman, they kind of come in out of nowhere. But
You're right, Creed.
So he's a kind of a pretty
Well,
famous.
Creed 3, it's all set in a fantasy setting. No, it's not. Sorry.
Remember he pulled out that sword?
Right.
Now, it's the Legacy series, and this is, I guess it's named after his daughters, because right on here it says Hope and Honor. That's his daughter's name. It's made from a blend of 6 and 7-year-old bourbon, and then it's finished in peated Scotch casks, which is going to give it this kind of herbal, smoky finish to that American bourbon that went into the barrels.
Okay.
And those are signatures of like good Scotch whiskey. That peaty smokiness. It's 110 proof, so it's a good, honest bottle, and it's actually hand signed.
Oh, you're kidding?
Right
That's
there
cool.
by Graham McTavish. The bottle's
That's
hand
cool.
signed.
Okay. That's cool. What's it go for if you don't without the signing?
So he, I want to say Corey. I think he won the ability to buy it. Does that make sense? He won
So
the
it's not
ability
really
to
that
buy it.
available.
Oh yeah, it's completely sold out. Like I went to
Got
check
it.
on the website because I kind of wanted another bottle because I'm
Yeah.
going to finish this very soon, and it's completely sold out. So he won the ability to buy it, and it was under $100.
Okay.
It was under, which I think is a fucking steal because this is good. This is good whiskey.
Okay.
So, without
I don't know.
further
I still
ado,
feel like I deserve half of that. Oh my god, I'm kidding.
the only thing we're doing different here is that it's already open, but a little ASMR.
Asthma.
There we go. I'm going to pour you first. There you go.
Thank you.
Give it a smell and a swirl. I was drinking this today when I was cooking dinner. And it comes in this great box. It's kind of like this deep purpley colored box.
With the lighting we have going on, I have no idea what the color is.
I got the Govee lights going. I got some deep red color going. And the box opens like a gate, and it's just this really well-made, well-crafted box. It's a great looking set. So,
Yeah.
on the nose, like when you smell it, what do you smell?
Don't ask me.
Think like well, first like smoke, chocolatey smoke.
I thought I smelled like a berry, but I could be wrong.
No, go with it.
I don't know.
Do you smell smoke?
I don't know.
All right, let's try it. There's that smoke, man. Cinnamon.
I got the cinnamon. It's pretty good. I like this one.
Now do it again. Wait a second. Give it a second, and then take another sip. There's vanilla in there. Definitely vanilla. Let me know when you get the smoke, because that's what it is about Scottish.
I guess I get it.
Whiskey
I guess I don't know.
Whiskey is that smoke.
Yeah, I can see it. I can feel it in my nose.
Do you like it?
I do like it, yeah. I actually like this one.
I used to hate Irish whiskey and Scotch whiskey, but as I'm getting older and my tastes are changing, I really dig this, so I'll start buying more.
I mean, it's not a rye, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you don't like the rye. And it kind of finishes kind of long, like you get...
I can still feel it.
It sits on the tongue for a bit.
Yeah, it's still in there right now.
Which is that's a good thing.
Take a picture of this.
Honey...
I'm gonna try to find it in my because you stole my half. I'm gonna have to find my own.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Corey. We love the whiskey. Oscar, I think, enjoys it because he's snapping pictures looking to buy it.
Yes.
So thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you. And thank you for listening. Assuming he's still listening to us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, tonight is different. I'm taking the back seat.
Yes.
My hands behind my head, putting up my feet.
You're going to be in the princess chair? No, there's a name for it. What's it called? Passenger princess. You're my passenger princess today.
Passenger princess.
Right.
Could I roll down that window?
Yes, please roll it. I mean, my old car, yes, you have to roll it.
Yeah, so we've been talking about some fun things this intro, but we're going to some dark territory today.
Yeah, some pretty weird, dark, creepypasta stuff, so that's what you expect, as the title may suggest. Stay with us.
Listeners, welcome back to the show. Well, the lights are turned down low. The ceremonial candle is lit. And the McTavish is flowing.
Yes, it is.
Oscar, start this show.
All right, thank you. Before I really start, I should say a couple things here. One is that we've covered this before, this topic.
Very good. I should have mentioned that. Go for it.
No, you're fine. We covered this topic before as a bonus episode. I don't remember when. Over a year ago. Let's say over 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and
it was smacking COVID because we
was
did
it COVID time
for Patreon. That's what it was.
That sounds right. So Sad Satan was covered, not directly though. It was covered amongst many other video games we talked about in that episode, where we talked about fucked up video games, like conspiracy-driven video games, a lot of scandalous kind of video games, either in its gameplay or in its making. And Sad Satan, the focus of today's episode, was one of the several that we covered. One of two that we spotlighted. There were others, but we spotlighted two in that episode.
Was Sad Satan and Polybius.
Polybius, that's correct. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot that.
Yeah, so what you did is you just extracted that portion,
yes,
your portion, Sad Satan, and then just expanded on it.
Right, so that portion was awesome. At most 10 pages, I think. Just the Sad Satan portion. I added 6 more, and obviously I rewrote everything, and I found some new stuff. And but if you were a fan of that old show, you're going to notice some differences, of course, some notable differences, not just in the writing. You will notice that I'm going to omit a couple things from that old show and highlight different things on this one. So just so you know, if you are a big fan and have been following us for hopefully all your lives. So that's one thing. The other thing is that this show has quite a bit of images to highlight. So check your show notes as I'm reading along here. And beyond that, I do kind of recommend for you to find Sad Satan on YouTube and just have the video playing in the background as I'm talking about the as this podcast is going. I think that would be a great companion piece. Obviously, turn down the sound, but otherwise, I think that'll work out because as I describe things, you'll get to see it in as in the gameplay there. So that is my 2 cents there. Before we start, you ready?
I'm excited. Yeah, let me put my feet up. Let me kick back.
You never put your feet up in your life. Okay. Oh, thank you. You're stopping me off, folks. Yes, so that's all I want. Not that I'll have a time to drink it right now. All right. All right. So imagine you wake up in a world that uses black and gray as its primary colors. You are utterly alone in a hallway, connected to an endless series of rooms and hallways, never leading to an exit. Normally, the echo-less sounds of your footsteps is the only sound accompanying you, but you get bombarded with random, nonsensical sounds and musical notes. One of them is a blood-curdling scream. You sometimes encounter a little girl, panting and staring into nothing, but refuses to acknowledge you. This is Sad Satan, a mysterious video game with questionable origins. In order to get started on Sad Satan and why it makes for a fun rabbit hole conspiracy, we must begin with a YouTube channel called Obscure Horror Corner. So platforms like Reddit and 4chan will make appearances for this story as well, but YouTube is the place Sad Satan was made public the first time. This channel, Obscure Horror Corner, began in January of 2014, and the final post before going completely dark was in the summer of 2015, so about a year and a half actually. A very short-lived channel, really. They focus on finding and showing gameplay of what the title suggests: obscure, horror, and gaming. Titles you may or may not know, which normally came from Japan, are titles like Death Forest, Toy Maker, Sleepless Night, The Rabbit House, weird games you never heard of, right? But they're all like super weird horror,
Yeah.
So anyway, Jamie, who is the proprietor of OHC, gave an interview on July of 2015 to Kotaku saying that a subscriber known as ZK, the letters Z and K, led him to a bizarre video game called Sad Satan. It wasn't unusual for people, at least at this time period, to take suggestions from their fan base, and Jamie was no different, so he took the suggestion of Sad Satan. Now, if you're wondering as to why this random subscriber sent the link in the first place, beyond, awareness, ZK claimed online it was because he was not able to play the game on his computer and was hoping to see the gameplay on the OHC channel. So that's what he said. To get Sad Satan, Jamie had to download the game via a tool like Tor. Are you familiar with Tor, Jay?
The onion router.
Yes.
Deep web.
Yeah.
Dark web.
Exactly. Which is an open source software for enabling anonymous communication by directing internet traffic through a worldwide network of thousands of relays, making your activities private. Essentially, it's how you start going into the dark web. That's how it starts. Now, from that Kotaku article, quote, something that the deep web is particularly good for, however, is anonymity. Users can upload stuff to something called onion sites incognito, and anyone that accesses that content will have a harder time tracing the source. A little while back, Jamie, the proprietor of the YouTube channel Obscure Horror Corner, says he dove into the deep web to download a mysterious game hosted on an onion site. The file was called Sad Satan, and it was a horror game that piqued his interest. It was, after all, an obscure horror game he could feature on his YouTube channel, unquote. After performing a malware check, the game was ready to play. And this is how Sad Satan came into his channel and finally to us here at the SOS. You're going to find that almost everything about Sad Satan is going to be strange and a bit convoluted. Obscure Horror Corner did a full gameplay run of Sad Satan in 5 10-minute videos. Very soon after the final video was uploaded was when the channel went dark. And this was in 2015 again in the summer. Speculations on that later. In an article on Sad Satan relating to that very gameplay by Vice, here goes, quote, rumor goes that a Sad Satan link was sent to one of the Obscure Horror Corner founders. He gave it a playthrough till the game started altering his computer. Text began to appear, which was later translated to I can track you by a bunch of Redditors. Sufficiently creeped out, the game was deleted. The only existing footage of Sad Satan comes from 5 gameplay videos that were eventually posted. It's a first-person hallway thriller in the vein of Guillermo del Toro's game PT, but despite in some intense searching and theorizing, on Reddit, no one can find out who made it, end quote. Wow. What do you think so far?
I'm intrigued. Intrigued.
Also, how much of this do you remember from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
It's coming back. Like, I remember that website. I remember the game. The different video gameplays. That's the only footage we have is those gameplays.
Yeah.
Anonymity where we can't find who created the game. Deep web. I remember that. So yes, it's starting to come back a little bit.
Excellent. To clarify, Jamie claimed that his notepad program would open involuntarily when playing Sad Satan, and that it contained series of gibberish characters, but the only discernible part of the messages was when the number 666 appeared.
Of course,
right? Jamie said that he believed this to be an atmospheric touch to the creepy game, and while found this notepad activity weird, he wasn't deterred from playing. Only after the gibberish was translated as to what I quoted by the Vice article saying, I can track you, did Jamie scrap the game from his computer. It does bring up questions though, like, did Jamie find the message after completing the game? Since he did post 5 clips about it. Did he get freaked out maybe and solidified his privacy settings further by using a different computer maybe to finish the game later? We don't really know, but that's what he said. A link to find the game played by Jamie was placed on YouTube. Following the Kotaku interview, r/Sad Satan was created on Reddit, and people started going to this Onion site. People saw that there was an invalid character in the link that was provided, and it led nowhere. That link had the number 9, which was wrong because hyperlinks provided by Tor contains the digits 2 to 7, so 9 wouldn't be included. This sent the internet detectives to Jamie's Reddit and other social media accounts. They found Jamie had claimed his interest in making a horror video game of his own. So to many people right away, this possible fact led to much of the public seeing Jamie and Obscure Horror Corner as charlatans for trying to generate appeal for a future project.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so he's trying to generate some revenue.
Right, that's what people think he's doing.
To fund his own project. Okay.
It's the internet, why trust it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Essentially. So think of like the marketing campaign that was made famous by the Blair Witch Project, something like that.
Wonderful.
Kind of like that, right?
Okay.
3 days after the Kotaku interview, OHC came back for another to correct the link mishap. I'll come back to this later, but they did correct their little link thing.
The Obscure Horror Channel website.
Yes.
Or YouTube site posted something else with the correct link.
Right, correct link. They fixed it and they kind of explain it a little later.
Okay.
But I'll come back to this in a second.
Okay.
Because just before, like minutes before this update, a new version of Sad Satan was posted on 4chan by someone claiming to be ZK, the letters Z and K.
Okay.
Supposedly the same subscriber of Obscure Horror Corner that had sent the original Sad Satan link. ZK made claims that the gameplay on YouTube that OHC posted was not the actual game he gave a link to.
Oh.
That's what he claims. That the real Sad Satan had notable differences. If you caught the lie, then you're paying attention, because how could ZK know that those gameplay videos were not real, was not the real version of the game, if he said that the reason the reason he sent the link was because he couldn't play it on his own.
Right.
So there's already a big problem there. So keep that in mind, but there seems to be a lie there. Anyway, people that downloaded this version, heralded at first as the real Sad Satan, found that they had problems playing the game or worse, being able to use their computers at all. It was infected with a virus which caused serious lag and eventual complete shutdown. So this is way worse than the one Jamie at Obscure Horror Corner used. It wasn't. This version of Sad Satan was then at that time referred to as the clone version. So not the original, the clone. What little that was actually accessed was found to be more nightmarish than the original post on YouTube. The game was still playable, but not completely or not very well. It said that the clone contained images of violent gore and child pornography.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I did manage to download a video playthrough of this version from YouTube and immediately noticed the changes. Obviously, the grisly images were blurred out. Obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be on YouTube. This and more in a bit. Because of this person from 4chan posting the clone version, people started calling the one posted by OHC as the clean version of Sad Satan, and that the more grisly illegal one may be the original. Coming back to that link error that Jamie provided, after his correction, people found out that it was a dead link or that Sad Satan was no longer accessible through that link. That maybe someone had taken it down. So right there, we don't know if Jamie corrected the link because he knew it wasn't there, meaning he took it down, or someone he knows, and then thought it was safe to give this real link that leads nowhere, or something else coincidentally. We don't know. But that's what happened. Now, this raises suspicions, of course. Did Jamie or Obscure Horror Corner delete the link, like I said? If it was Jamie, the belief that this whole thing was a marketing stunt feels a lot more likely. Was it someone else maybe? As they started seeing fast-paced internet activity, in order to play the original of Sad Satan, were they trying to keep them from the public from playing it? Who can say? We don't know. A bit later, Jamie from the channel came out and said that the reason he gave a fake link the first time was because that version of Sad Satan was too gruesome and had child pornography, and wanted to show instead a clean version he had edited or that he found. Not entirely sure which, but again, who can say for sure of the motivations? So a lot of weird lies that no one can corroborate. I mean, not even us, because we're not there.
Now you have ZK saying the real version has CP and intense gore.
Right, so people are coming out saying,
Jamie
which is the real Sad Satan? So at some point, I think the internet decided to have the one that was posted on the OHG channel to be the original, and everything after to be cloned. So the other one is cloned. The child pornography one, they just call it the clone version. Because there was a lot of stipulation, which is the original, which is, whatever. Yeah. So at some point, people just decided the first one posted on the internet is the original. Anything after that is a different version. So,
okay.
But it's weird.
Yeah. As these internet kind of creepypastas are.
Yeah, and conspiracies in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
It is time for a significant but very informative detour. This detour is part of the rabbit hole business, and it adds some serious creep to this story. According to the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, a 32-year-old man named Gary Graves was sentenced to 9 years in prison after admitting in August of 2017 to viewing prepubescent child pornography on his cell phone.
Motherfucker.
I know. Graves' girlfriend called Lubbock police on him. According to the search warrant, the woman was keeping the phone as Gary was held at the Lubbock County Jail on an unrelated charge. The responding officers found several images depicting children involved in sexual acts with adults. Gary ran a YouTube channel called Scare Bear. Scare is spelled the same, bear is B-E-R-E. Scare Bear, which had posted a video titled Sad Satan, 2 sads. That video was posted on May of 2014, nearly 2 years before Obscure Horror Corner brought Sad Satan into the limelight. Now, that video has absolutely no resemblance to the video game. A snippet from that video is on the show notes. The channel in question was traced back to a Reddit account that had been created just 4 days prior to the post containing the link to the clone that was posted on 4chan, the virus-filled version with the disturbing images. The Reddit account name was ScareBearZK. So Gary Graves was identified online as a credited man in another video made on the channel to be the same person on the Lubbock Criminal Registry. This led to the educated assumption that Gary created or at least spread the clone version of Sad Satan.
So is Gary ZK?
Yes, that is what I'm saying here.
Okay.
The clone being the fucked up version, and his online ID, ZK, being the person that began this whole mess with Obscure Horror Corner. In r/creepy gaming, ZK types the comments saying, quote, Country Road 2100 block, Fry Deck 1401, the truth is stranger than fiction, unquote.
What the fuck does that mean?
So the message, I mean, it doesn't take a whole thing. That's a real address, Country Road 2100 block. Friday is Friday, December 1401 is December 14th, 2001.
Oh, okay.
So this led me to an article which states the following, quote, this is weird. December 14th, 2001, Lubbock Cooper high school student Kelsey Cook is killed in a single car rollover on South Indiana. Cooper's senior and friend Bradley Madison says, quote within the quote, the driver was drunk and the passenger was not. Kelsey makes a fatal decision and gets into the car with a friend who had been drinking. Madison adds, it could have been prevented by not letting teens under the age of 21 drink, end quote. The intoxicated driver is named Nicole Crump, and she and Kelsey and Gary are of the same age and went to Shawwater High School together. Gary's federal arrest for the child pornography was led by his girlfriend at the time, Nicole Crump. It's impossible to figure out why Gary, as ZK, posted that tragic teenage fatal car accident date on a Reddit post about Sad Satan if he wasn't trying to throw some shade at his girlfriend, who, caused the crash in 2001. What's really weird about Gary's YouTube account, ScareBear, is that his final post was in May of 2014 and Obscure Horror Corner began posting around January of the same year. So a lot of strange coincidental similarities here. And that car accident, not implying at all here that ZK or Gary, whatever, that he did it. But he's obviously connected to the person that was drunk driving that day, and he posted it on some random Reddit for no reason. I don't know why.
I don't know. That's so
just weird. To be weird, I guess. I couldn't tell you.
I looked up a picture of him. He's weird looking. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that. I did way back when I first researched this. His account was still around, so I did see some of
Was it really still around?
Yeah, I saw some of his old videos. They're nothing special, nothing hidden. He's not smart, but I saw his face more. Wow. Fuck that guy. You're right, though. He's a piece of shit, but he's arrested, thankfully.
Shotgun right to his face.
Right. Now, that's most of the background. Let's get into Sad Satan itself. I will be getting into a lot of the nitty-gritty of this game, but there will be obvious cuts to some of what goes on. I will be staying within the 5 videos that were uploaded on YouTube by Obscure Horror Corner primarily, and then I'll get into some of the other versions of Sad Satan. But it should be said, those are lesser versions because they are not the crux of this conspiracy, really. Okay. Some of the images I will be describing are on the show notes, as well as others I will not mention. So, what the hell is this game? It's certainly ominous, but kind of barely a game. Much like I described in the opening, it's a first-person experience, and you're someone unknown. You don't have a name. You could be a lost soul, a child, a grieving parent, or maybe you're Satan himself. Who knows? You walk down these hallways, these long hallways, and pass through some doors and meet a few static characters or NPCs along the way, but that's really all of the activity. It's difficult to tell if you are on a set path or one of many. Like if you play it again, will it be a different experience? Oh. It's almost a maze, but the goal doesn't seem to be finding a way out or searching for a specific person or item. The game is also ugly. It has very few colors and is more of an experimental showcase than a game. It features monochromatic corridors while various audio samples are played and looped over and over each other. Now, let's get into some of the audio of Sad Satan. Now, the bumper music you heard earlier is actually from the game. Here's a more completed version of that very sound. That child's voice you think you're hearing is actually meant to be played in reverse, and coupled with the eerie ice cream truck music is from the Swedish Rhapsody number station called the Conet Project. This is a Polish number station operated by the Ministry of Public Security that utilized AM broadcasting between the late 1950s and the late 1990s. This nifty piece of spycraft was mentioned on this show before on episode 62.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
I remember we talked about numbers.
I went back to our own archives to find out what we talked about. It took a while.
Nice.
Because I don't remember where.
So listeners, check out episode 62 if you like number stations.
That's right. That real thing that really existed was inserted into Sad Satan. Why? Let's first develop the pattern. Now, the closest time you encounter something resembling a musical score for the game, other than that, ice cream truck music, is when this pops up. I would say that hardly qualifies as a musical score. What did you think?
It's creepy as shit. Dude. Like the devil has indigestion.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one. He needs Pepto.
The devil needs some Pepto.
Yeah, he needs some Pepto. That clip turns out to be a very, very slowed down and distorted version of a song from KMFDM.
Kill motherfucking Depeche Mode.
That's right. The song title is Lynch Mob, which has a tenuous connection with Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold.
Really?
The two high school students that perpetrated the massacre at Columbine High School in 1999. There are pictures of the two shooters wearing KMFDM band shirts.
Okay. I think I remember those pictures, too.
I remember, too.
And by the way, I don't know if KMFDM actually stands for Kill Motherfucking Depeche Mode, but that's what they used to say.
Yeah.
And just to put it on record, I fucking love Depeche Mode, so there we go.
I also dig Depeche Mode more than this band, I would say, but I also don't know this band very well.
So. KMFDM was cool, but...
yeah, it was cool, and that is a must. I think it went over my head at that time. Like, I don't think I even knew they existed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah,
an example of another slowed down song that is found to be in the Sad Satan is Alabama Song by The Doors.
Do you know, can I?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't mean to derail you. So I just put a post on Instagram today showing the whiskey here. And the song I played for that was the Alabama Song, Whiskey Bar.
I gotta tell you, Jay, I wish this provided more proof for the show to write in. I didn't write it in because it didn't make any sense, but I went to a rabbit hole of the original of that song, how that song was first made. Really? It's a German song, you know that?
No.
I went into a whole rabbit hole just to find out anything meaningful that I could add to the show, but there was nothing meaningful.
Like why they would have inserted it into the...
Yes, but there is a connection. There's something. I'll tell you right now. But it's not like about the song's origins, that's what my problem. Anyway, so Alabama Song by The Doors, a famous cover song from the German original. If you're not familiar with that song, go look it up. It's a great, interesting story. Because it was made in the 1930s, right before the Nazis really took over.
Wow.
The creepy part emphasized in the game is when the song goes, quote, "Show me the way to the next little girl."
Oh, Whiskey Bar. And then, yeah.
Yes. That's the part that's highlighted in the game.
Show me the way.
Here's the clip from the game, but reversed, so that way it makes sense. Okay, so we're back. So that clip in the video game is actually reversed. I reversed it for you guys so you guys can understand what the hell they're saying.
Got it. And that is exactly what Jim Morrison says in that song.
Yeah, I knew of that song. I definitely wasn't a big familiar. I didn't know.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's a great song. Love the song, but it's
fun. I've heard it like in other versions of it. I've heard like a swing time kind of version of it. I've heard a ska version, I think, once.
I can see that too.
So, but not the original from Germany. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy, fun song. It's a fun song.
With the
if you listen to the original, no lie, it's a creepy version.
The German version.
The German original. It's in English, but
I'm going to have to. Yeah,
it's weird.
Cool.
It's weird.
Cool. I love it.
All right. I'll get into more of the bizarre sound clips, but I want to introduce another component to Sad Satan. As your character walks up and down the hallways, the player gets randomly hijacked with a full-frame picture. It is unclear whether it is time-based, meaning the specific or random photograph come at you at certain times no matter where you are, or if it's when you cross certain thresholds in the gameplay. Not sure. As such, one of the pictures is connected to the audio bombardments, though not at the same time. At just over the 10-minute mark of the gameplay, the player gets a full-frame picture of Jimmy Savile standing next to UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher sponsoring the NSPCC. The acronym stands for National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children.
Come on, just stop.
And the disgusting irony is that shortly after TV icon and famous DJ Jimmy Savile died at 84, massive amounts of allegations came out of sexual abuse, which included, but not limited to, children.
Oh, I mean...
Yeah, massive.
The stories will...
Decades.
The stories will turn your stomach. And listeners have to understand how big this guy was over in the UK. Jimmy Savile was... Like
Michael Jackson level for a lot of them.
Massive. Connected to every political figure you could think of. Every person who was who in whatever they call Hollywood over there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fucking tied in.
I think they call it T-Town. I'm not kidding.
Which is why they say he was never outed until after his death, because he was so tied in and so many people knew and so many people helped him and covered for him. It is a fucked up story.
It is.
That's fucked up that they put that in that shit.
Yeah, they put a full frame picture in your face next to Margaret Thatcher, no less, a very big political person in UK at that time.
Of course.
So the sound clip that accompanies this image is creepy once you know this Savile scandal.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
So yeah, that's the clip they used, which is extracted from an interview in 2011. So he was already almost to death at that point. But yeah,
you haven't broken any laws.
Have you?
None whatsoever.
Right, yeah, motherfucker.
But in reality, he was the devil incarnate.
For a lot of people, sure, a lot of victims, 100%. Yeah, it's crazy world we're in there. There are other fucked up pictures. At some point, you get the driver's license picture of Tsutomu Miyazaki, also called the otaku murderer, who in Japan raped and killed 4 little girls. Rolf Harris, a famous Australian who worked in UK television even once alongside Jimmy Savile, was convicted for sexual assault on 4 underage girls in 2014. This picture is of him in a Santa Claus outfit, surrounded by smiling children in what appears to be a promo shoot that looks a little like a stock photo. This, to me, is important to the time period we're talking about regarding Sad Satan, because it cements the fact that the game must have been made no earlier than 2013 when the Rolf Harris scandal began.
Oh, okay.
I like that little bit of it. No one ever talks about it, but yeah, the time frame fits. That's my point. So the Sad Satan is of its time. Okay. It wasn't made like so long ago, or whatever.
Okay. Which gives more authenticity to it, like
exactly a little bit more. Yes.
And again, listeners can see these photos
in the show notes. That's why I described this, so you can see what I'm talking about.
Creepy. They're creepy photos.
Yeah, definitely. Another notable picture is of famed and still working filmmaker Roman Polanski, who in 1977 pled guilty to drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl and is currently a fugitive from the U.S. justice system. Now, the trend here is pretty obvious. Crimes against children, against the innocent. The gameplay itself reflects this. There's one notable NPC you meet in one of the quiet corridors. It's a little girl, standing and looking down, but not exactly at the floor, more like through it, staring at nothing. She's heaving a bit, but not making a sound and not acknowledging you. After a moment, the quiet gets interrupted by a blood-curdling scream. Now, don't worry, the internet sleuths found where that scream came from, and it's not someone getting tortured and murdered. It's stock audio made by some woman for anyone to purchase and use.
Thank God.
Yes, thank God. And now,
but what
elements...
It's implying
It's right.
terrible.
However,
Yeah.
in the context of where you are in the video game and you hear that, also extremely creepy.
Yeah.
Elements of that audio were changed to a bit to dramatic effect, but it's nothing special other than the fact that the scream always gives me the goddamn chills, even knowing the truth now.
Goosebumps all over my body when
Every
you
time.
just let me listen to it.
Every time. Imagine playing this game for the first time from some questionable internet source. You're alone in the dark, and the game constantly interrupts your lonely footsteps with weird looping soundscapes and strange images. Now add that scream after meeting the one lonely girl in the game. Sad Satan is very fun creepypasta. There are a couple more things I want to highlight here. Here is the clip as it appears in the game, followed right next to each other. I'm going to put them back to back, followed by the same clip in reverse. That distorted clip is accompanied by an image of a white screen with a code that links to a song titled I Love Beijing Tiananmen. People online have deduced that the song is from a cheap SNES game called Hong Kong 97, which showed, among other things like cuss words, which is unheard of back then, and a disembodied head of a Chinese dictator. Besides that, a picture of a bloodied corpse as the game over screen. This dead person picture baffled people at first as to its origins, but was later discovered to be from something called Death File Yellow and Faces of Death, which are narrated documentaries that depict real and gruesome deaths. That song is famously sung by children, by the way, and here's what the original sounds like. Yeah, so obviously the original singer of this wasn't tortured or murdered or anything, but this immediately invokes the obviously Tiananmen Square and that whole horrible thing. But the fact that it's also famously sung by children and it's connected to this other video game, and we're talking about a different video game, there's definitely some creep connection there. So
it's again continuing that theme of harm to children.
Right, a little bit anyway. The last thing I want to talk about, in some detail anyway, is something near to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast. Charlie Manson clips are notable in Sad Satan.
Of course.
Right, of course.
Why wouldn't they be?
Right, why not? Manson needs no introduction, but at the very least, in connection to the child abuse and child predators, Manson did recruit and sleep with young women often during his reign. Yeah. This clip gets looped over and over during a portion of the gameplay.
If I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left. If I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left. If I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
That clip of Manson's maniacal ramblings is from an interview he did while incarcerated. A huge portion of that interview also plays in the game, but it's distorted. Yeah. There are many other examples that were cut for time. When researching this weird game, I had a few important questions. What is the purpose of Sad Satan? Who are the intended audience? Who in the hell made this game and other versions? Now, before speculating on who might have made Sad Satan, I think we have to talk about on how it was made. I'm not too familiar with game making and anything with computer code, but I found that something called the Unity Terror Engine was used to make Sad Satan. Its purpose is to make horror games, very simply. Games like Silent Hill, the original of course, used this engine, for example. What's telling is that the engine is prized for its advanced mechanics that allows users with no coding experience to be able to make their game. This is interesting because of the little rabbit hole I'm about to lead you to. Scrutinizers online noticed some strange inconsistencies with the videos on Obscure Horror Corner. They noticed overlaying issues where none of them should be. They noticed a few cuts made to the gameplay that doesn't quite match with what's supposed to be happening. The only weird thing I noticed is that the 5 videos don't connect very well with each other, meaning that where you are at the end of the first video isn't exactly where you start at the start of the second video, and so forth.
Okay.
It's pretty sketchy if you think about it. Doesn't really make sense. Now, the cuts within these videos that people talk about online, I couldn't see very well. The monochromatic setting and old school pixelization nature of the game makes it difficult to discern those cuts. There were little glitches I couldn't explain, especially since we're supposed to be watching a solid, flowing playthrough video. But also remember, folks, this is before Twitch and live streaming gameplay became a real thing. What's telling is that there's a picture, one of many, that pops up inconsistently to the rest and in what looks like a slightly different aspect ratio. This is in the 4th video of the playthrough. There's an added element concerning Jamie. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped myself. So this is in the 4th video. The aspect ratio, I don't have a sample of this for you guys, but it's basically the same gameplay, but the aspect ratio changes for no reason.
Wow.
So what that does, I don't know if you're familiar with video aspect ratios, but typically a movie stays in one aspect ratio the entire time, right? A video game, largely more so. Sometimes they'll skip around to be fun or dramatic. But a game like this, where you see 90% is one way and you see 2% of it not, it kind of it makes it look like you're watching something doctored.
Okay.
That's what people are saying online of this aspect ratio change. Okay. It's not the biggest deal. It just provides some shade on that original gameplay. It just makes it all suspicious. Okay. That's really it.
Okay.
Because it's not like we can confirm any of this anyway. Anyway, where am I? Okay. There is an added element concerning Jamie of OHC being inconsistent with what he was saying about the origins of Sad Satan online. Many claim that there are sources of him stating that the subscriber, ZK, sent him the link, while other times he claimed to have found the game himself on the dark web.
Well, that's a problem.
Nothing really quite fits the more you dig into this story. I think this is just the nature of online-based conspiracies. To recap a little bit here, a man named Gary Graves under the names ZK and Scarebear allegedly sent a link to the Sad Satan game to Jamie of Obscure Horror Corner, which is where gameplay first appeared online. Gary claimed that he wanted to see gameplay of Sad Satan because he cannot play it himself for reasons unknown. Nearly all of the descriptions I gave on Sad Satan came from those 5 clips that OHC posted before they themselves ghosted that channel. Gary soon claimed that this version was not the correct one, which makes no sense, of course, if he couldn't play or see the game himself before sending the link. We mentioned all this already. Gary posted the so-called real game on 4chan, where people found it very difficult to play due to the havoc it caused their computers. Gary said, quote, "What you've seen on YouTube isn't right. Don't believe that coward obscure horror corner. He did not show you what was truly in this game. ZK," unquote. I did see some of that gameplay, and both versions look identical, except certain soundscapes are different or altered, or, come at different points in the game. Additionally, this real version contains images of gore, gory bodies, and child pornography. Those are the differences. It should be said that those images were blurred out in the gameplay that I saw, so I didn't actually see these things, thankfully. I did manage to get some vague descriptions, and probably for the best. There's, for example, there's a beheading.
Jesus.
A body after being run over by a truck. There's a huddled child, but with its head missing. And that image is on the show notes, because I don't think it's that home.
Wait, what?
That image I sent you is for the show notes.
A headless child?
Yeah, a huddled child, but with his head missing. It's not cut off, it's just missing. It's hard to describe it. You have to kind of see it, you know what I mean? There's an...
Wait.
I sent it to you. It's on the show notes.
I haven't looked. Wait, so this isn't real. The picture isn't.
No. I don't. Although I think the other ones are like the one that's the car that's run over some guy. It's like a autopsy photo. It looks like.
Those are in the show notes right now.
No, not that one. I'm just describing what's in this fucked up version of Sad Satan. One of those pictures, the one I told you, is in the show notes. The rest, you all find them yourselves.
Fuck.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
We're gonna get shut down for this.
No. So, hold on, where am I? Okay. There's an image that appears to be an aborted fetus with tribal tattoos. Don't ask me.
That's straight out of the 90s.
Yeah, is that?
It's tribal, of course.
Oh, you're making a joke. I thought you were like something serious. Luckily, I have no descriptions of the child pornography. So, thankfully, I don't have that. Now, false claims on the internet is nothing new. There are people that relish on spinning a tale for some semblance of credit or spotlight, not to mention the ones that have more substantial reasons, whether it's advertisement or of a nefarious nature. There is one question that people have had about Satan that remains, for the most part, unanswered. The first one being the main one being is that who made the fucking game? There are people who say that Jamie from Obscure Horror Corner did it, without a shadow of a doubt. These people believe that he made Sad Satan and tried to make it look like he discovered it online, or, in his case, maybe that a subscriber on his channel has sent it to him. That he was generating hits on his channel, which it did, or to advertise himself for a future horror video game he was going to make, which Jamie said he was.
Did it? I mean,
he never, as far as I know. No, I know what you're about to ask.
No, I was going to say about his viewership. Did it really spike when this?
It did spike.
Huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or are we talking millions or?
No, but significant, but not like. You're right. It was a lot more than he's used to, but not.
So it worked in a way.
Not PewDiePie numbers,
right? Yeah, right. Or Mr. Beast, right? But so if that's what he was trying to do, it did in some semblance work.
It did.
Okay, mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So that could be a reason.
There are definitely holes in his narrative, though. To many, it is a neat explanation because if Jamie made the clean and original version of Sad Satan, then he would definitely want to go internet dark once a more nefarious version, the clone version, was being passed around filled with the child pornography. So maybe it makes sense that they went dark.
Yeah, he didn't want to be associated with it.
Right. Before the clone version of Sad Satan surfaced, this story barely merited any kind of real intrigue. People were sure of the truth. The clone version threw a wrench and made the mystery more substantial, and because it involves illegal and immoral things, it is also more intriguing, especially on the internet. Yeah. Which brings us back to ZK. It's been established that ZK, Scare Bear ZK, is one person named Gary Graves from Lubbock, Texas. He pleaded guilty to viewing and obtaining child pornography on his phone. He's currently in prison, serving a sentence of no more than 20 years.
Ha, good.
Yeah. Gary threw in that wrench onto the Sad Satan mystery. In the middle of OHC's release of the gameplay, after the third video, back in 2015, Gary posted a link on 4chan that led people to his Sad Satan, theoretically. His claim that OHC posted the wrong game makes no sense, but it does make Gary a suspect as to the creator of the original, if not at least the cloned version. That his mission was to either claim credit or some kind of bizarre prestige for having made this much talked about game, or maybe to frighten and surprise people by the illegal images. Never believe that a stupid motive doesn't exist, especially online. Trying to capitalize on the whirlwind surrounding the clean version of Sad Satan is motive enough for this sicko to make his clone version. But could he have made the original as well? Many people, though not as many as the ones that believe Jamie did it, believe that Gary Graves is the author of the original, as the wiki page for Sad Satan names the author as ZK, not Jamie.
Really?
I mean, that's just someone stating a thing. We don't know because it's still wiki.
Sure.
It's not like fact.
Anyone could adjust it.
Right. So but that's what it says. Who else might be responsible? There are no other names to this story that come close to being the author of Sad Satan. Some believe that it is simply an obscure link that was found in a forum post on the dark web, just randomly. A place where games are rarely, if ever, posted to begin with. It lacks an author because it comes from the dark web, adding another notch to the mystery of the online underworld. Others say that the original was intended to guide, send messages, and child pornography to other pedophiles, a low-rent occult version of a secret organization. However, there is one strong contender I've yet to mention, that the FBI commissioned the making of Sad Satan.
Oh, hold on now.
Yeah, what you would call a honeypot, designed to lure pedophiles or potential criminal elements to the game. That the game has a backdoor program installed to track users' IP addresses, which may help to explain why many people's computers, were lagging and crashing after ZK posted on 4chan. It simplifies things for people because it makes sense that Jamie could have altered the game once he found the illegal contents of Sad Satan, and that a furious Gary posted the real version to show others. Ugh. Answering the who greatly explains the why.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Oh, I like that honeypot idea. That's interesting.
That's fun, yeah.
That is an interesting reason for the game. I don't know. So the whole hubbubaloo about the Sad Satan is basically the dirty version. That's what gets everyone drawn in. The gore.
It adds like a very special wrinkle to it. Yeah.
The child pee, all that stuff. Is that the crux of the Sad Satan thing? Why would someone create something like this?
I think that's what elevated it to a conspiracy. That's what made it interesting. That's what made it big. It made both versions big, really.
And the fact that we can't pinpoint where this
correct
thing came from,
right.
Who made it and why.
If we knew from the get-go, this would have solved itself in one day, and we probably wouldn't be talking about it today.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have known about it.
Well, listen, obviously it's fucking weird. Check the pictures in the show notes and research some of the people in those photos. It's horrible. I mean, these images are horrible. The people are horrible.
Yeah.
So why would someone do that? Is it an AR game, like an alternate reality game? Is there more out there that we just don't know about?
That I think that I can say for sure. Is it from the same guy? I don't know. That's what I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, because now you're going to have copycats and everything else.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think someone might have even, like Sad Satan in some version is available to play on Steam, I think, that someone made. Because why not? Why not make money, right? Why not?
Yeah, now, sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, by now,
famous,
yes. I don't know if it was now, but it was within the year or two of this story breaking out, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we've seen some pretty weird stuff out there on YouTube.
Yes, we
these,
have.
like, old abandoned YouTube
I mean, we mentioned at the
channels.
top of the show, you posted yourself a weird thing that happened in real life on YouTube recently.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa or aliens. Or, these old abandoned YouTube channels that were some form of art project.
Yeah, right.
That some guy made 15 years ago when he was a freshman.
Honestly, what I think of is that Momo character who was that creepy doll.
Momo, yeah.
Yeah, turned out to be some guy in Italy making a project and just
all
trying to
about.
see what people would say. It was like very innocent and just whatever. And he took it down because people are too scared of it. And,
Or
he's trying to be,
Slender Man,
he's trying to be wholesome. Like everyone's fucking freaking out.
Kids won't go to sleep at night
Right,
they think
because of what
Momo's
I
in the
made.
closet. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. My kids were the same way. They hated Momo. They were terrified.
I can see it. It's scary.
We actually did an episode on those viral internet.
That's how I remember that.
And I think we talked about Momo there. Yeah. No, it is an intriguing story why someone would do this. Obviously, there's a horrible underlying theme to the game with, injuries of children and hurting children. Why would someone do that? And the sounds. Oh my God! When you played the scream for me, I had goosebumps all over my body.
Dude, me too.
I like it. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Are we going to have the gameplay in the show notes?
No, the gameplay is very boring. Honestly, the sound clips I've been showing you is from the games, or like that's where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And that's better than hearing footsteps.
Okay.
That's all it is.
I'm picturing like a fucked up Doom.
Oh, I mean, you can say it's a fucked up Doom, but you're not carrying anything, you're not healing, you're not fighting anything. It's
Okay,
very.
so then that's a whole other angle to this.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I know.
Then
I'll get
what's
into
the
more
point?
right now, but yeah, that's what's hard. Also, like, doesn't seem to be a point
Wow.
unless whatever you add to it. I guess is the point.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Kind of eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I find it difficult to believe that the FBI commissioned the making of Sad Satan because Gary Graves would have been arrested for that, not from his girlfriend turning him in. Nothing about Gary's online activities were mentioned in his arrest report. Trying to find out who the target audience is for Sad Satan goes hand in hand as to who made it, which is impossible to confirm. If it was Jamie from Obscure Horror Corner, then it's a showcase piece of advertisement, something that generates clicks and to make money and fame eventually. If it's Gary, then it is the shavings of a lunatic, a dumb pedophile that is looking for attention. Yeah. My instinct from the start is that it is a warning, a politically fueled and hateful warning about children being abused either by famous people or by people that were made famous by that kind of abuse. Sad Satan nearly works as a harsh and dark reminder to keep an eye out for the innocent, especially at the hands of beloved individuals. The game feels like a statement, a horror game for the uninformed about the innocent. I'd be the first to admit that I'm probably giving this game way too much credit. But if a horror game is meant to scare you, then maybe Sad Satan did its job. It is a horror game, after all. Now, moving on, a question that often comes up where about Sad Satan is where did it get its name?
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
This is a fun aspect to the story. So, quote, the game, Sad Satan, apparently gets its name from the second or so of audio that loops over and over during sections of the game. A backward clip led from Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Supposedly, when played in reverse, one section of the song contains hidden messages in worship of Satan, unquote. Now, here is that loop from the game. That comes from a famous Led Zeppelin conspiracy long known before Sad Satan. I won't play the whole song in its original form, or that part anyway, but the lyrics are as follows. This is when it's played normally. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. I love that song. Let's play that clip in reverse and see if you catch the section, it's towards the end, that's in the game. I know. It's weird. Now, here is how they're interpreted. Quote, I got this from an article. Quote, oh, here's a, sorry, this is a transcription of what you just heard. So making sure. Oh, here's to my sweet Satan, the one whose little path would make me sad, whose power is Satan. He will give those with him 666.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yes.
Yeah. There was a little tool shed where he made us suffer, sad Satan, unquote. That's what that's saying.
Fuck, I'm fucked up right now. Dude, I'm covered head to toe.
Yes.
My hair is standing up the back of my neck.
That's all I wanted.
I heard, I would say 75% of what you just read, I heard in that backward stairway.
It is pretty legible. It is not like, it's not a big leap to go there with this song. Yeah. Now, also, there's a further connection with history here because who's the lead guy in that one?
Robert Plant?
I think it's him. One of the main guys, if not him, famously dated a 14-year-old girl.
No.
Yeah, I think he married one or something, like very young, and it was more allowed because it was the 70s, not allowed, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so like the connection is there beyond just having a cool name from a reverse song. So.
What the fuck? I didn't know Robert Plant dated a 14-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, that happens a lot. I mean, I just heard about Neil Gaiman. Remember, the whole thing came up just now.
Neil Gaiman?
Yeah. You didn't hear
The
it?
author?
Yeah, the author. All these allegations are coming out against him right now. Read up on it. I know. I love his books.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like the.
I love Anansi Boys.
The what was the HBO show or? American Gods.
American Gods is stars, and then he also did Good Omens on Prime, and then there was that the Netflix one that's better. I forgot the name of it. Sandman.
Right, yeah.
Sandman. Anyway,
I don't want to go down. Yeah.
Sorry, we'll look into that in a minute.
No,
I know.
I'm looking it up right now.
I know. We're discovering this in real time, folks. Anyway, so that's the portion of the thing about where the title comes from.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is
clear
crazy.
as day. Sad Satan.
Clear as day. Super clear as day.
666. Oh my God. The shed. Oh, I heard it all.
So
I need more whiskey.
I don't know. We're almost done though.
No, good. I want this to keep going. I love this. All right.
So now moving on from that because there's no more to that title really. We mentioned that this story was part of another story released as a bonus episode in the past. Yeah. Major parts of this story has been rewritten and a couple of things added and other things omitted from the original. I did discover something that no one else has even brought up online regarding the Sad Satan conspiracy. Unfortunately, I could not find a way to confirm it, but it gave me more than a moment's pause, and I feel I must share it. It's about the titling. I don't mean where the title came from, we just went through that, it's pretty obvious, but more about why the word sad is in there. It's more than alliteration. Remember when I gave the background on Gary Graves and how 2 years prior to Sad Satan being discovered, he had his own YouTube channel under Scare Bear. In that channel, he posted a video that again is available in the show notes titled Sad Satan, 2 sads.
Right.
This alone, while odd, is nothing special. 2 months ago, in real life here, I came across this movie called Red Rooms.
We just watched it tonight.
You watched it tonight?
We just watched it tonight.
Shut up. Okay, then great. Then great. You know, I'm going to
literally just watched.
You're going to be on this
4
then.
hours ago.
You're going to be on this then. It's a great mystery thriller about a trial of the century and a woman that's obsessed with the killer and the crimes. The guy supposedly, we don't know, but allegedly, maybe, raped, tortured, and killed 2 teenage women while streaming it live on the dark web.
The Red Room.
The Red Room's right. The movie is great, in my opinion, and part of what people gave it credit for is having a realistic outlook into the dark web and the uses of Bitcoin currency and how it is often used for illegal means, like those murders. Slight spoilers for the Red Rooms, but at some point, the main character, who is proficient in the online underworld, yes, she's like a hacker, gets on an auction site to buy the footage of the killing of one of the teenage girls. There's a countdown to the auction starting, and the page looks like the screenshot I took, and it's now in the show notes. It is a red and black image of a young girl, and at the top it says, 13-year-old Camille, sad, sad night. So this piqued my interest because the only other time I've ever seen the word sad used that way, as a title anyway, is with Sad Satan. Particularly Gary Graves' YouTube video, Sad Satan. What does this fictional movie and this pedophile creep have in common? Well, if Red Rooms is well regarded for its accuracy into the dark web and the nefarious activities that occur, did they depict something real with Sad Night? Gary certainly must have dipped his toes into the dark web since he could be responsible for making an illegal version of Sad Satan, or at least finding it. Do pedophiles recognize sad titling on the dark web? Like something for them to look at?
Like cheap pizza.
Yeah. So I was about to say that. Is it their new version of the whole pizza menu thing or the Macari thing? Exactly right. Like I said, I could not confirm this whatsoever, but man, it feels right.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's right. Sad.
You just watched this. That's great. That's really good timing.
Camille has a sad night or something.
Yeah.
Whoa. Is that a flag?
Yeah.
For other PDFs.
Yeah.
PDF files.
Nice.
Fuck. That's a crazy coincidence there.
It is.
Almost feels like it's too coincidental.
Yeah, maybe, right. I don't know. They're obviously years and years apart. Those two, right?
So. I would look into that director, maybe. I don't know.
I did a little bit. I just couldn't find anything. I just couldn't. I don't know. Nothing told me anything like I could confirm it. I don't know.
Yeah, but what an angle to come up with. To
right.
Find. I mean,
it just came up.
Really interesting.
Good thing I remember that movie. Now here's the final bit. The way the game ends is as dark as the rest of it. After a while, you come across a room that you've seen earlier, which happens to be a mass burial room. This time, there's children standing in a circle around you, including that little girl I mentioned before. You continue your journey, and you find that girl again, alone, in a hallway. This time, she does see you, and begins hurting you and chasing you. As you run, you take enough damage, and you die, since the game offers no way to defend yourself or heal yourself. Kind of like a revenge for maybe being the adult in a place where children have suffered. Does that imply that the character you play is an abuser? Who can say?
It certainly sounds like it. And the little girl finally gets her revenge. Now, this is the little girl that has that horrible scream.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It certainly does feel like that. You are the aggressor. You are the abuser. And your victim finally gets her revenge. Which kind of puts a whole new different twist or a light on the game. Yeah, it's fucked up, but at the end, do the victims prevail? Is it a positive? I don't know.
Who could say? Yeah.
Who could say? Exactly.
Fucked up.
Man.
But that's what I got.
Sad Satan. What an interesting topic, man.
It turned out to be a really fun, obviously completely bullshit also kind of story, but it's a lot of stuff in it.
There really is. And yeah, just check the show notes to see some fucked up shit.
Yeah, use that clip of the screaming as your ringtone. I'm fine with that. Just download it directly from our app.
We were saying when you let me listen, because, I mean, I feel bad for Oscar because every clip you heard, I would listen to as we're recording. So
yes, because I wanted it fresh for you. I wanted you to have a real time.
No, I appreciate it, but now you got to edit all that out to make it seamless.
That's
so I
good.
feel bad. But
easy.
Yeah, you were letting me listen to those clips as we're recording here, and it's hard to listen to. It's hard to listen to. The Led Zeppelin stuff, love it.
Right.
Love that.
I've never been a huge Zeppelin fan, but I don't have that connection to Zeppelin, but it's still a big thing. Yeah, that's for sure. I definitely know them.
And especially, I mean, Stairway to Heaven. I mean, that's
the biggest song.
One of the iconic songs.
Top 10 of all time for a lot of people, right? It's, so like, you could take a poll on that.
And that shit was clear as day.
Mm-hmm. So it's hard to say, like, obviously, what do you think, There's no end of the cap for this. There's no solution.
No.
We don't know who the author is. We'll never know, probably. It's also probably not that important. It looks more like a cheap stunt that happened to be fun to research. And it has a lot of interesting connections of crime and debauchery and conspiracy that we love to enlighten here. So I don't think it's like we lose or gain anything from this, No, personally, if another one comes up, then we can rehash this, but otherwise...
Put it to bed.
Yeah.
That's it. Moving on to the next episode.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's what we like to
I mean, we have
research.
drones to worry about here
What
and other things
interesting.
too. We have bigger fish to fry, okay?
Right.
Right.
But we research what's fun, what interests us.
exactly.
Some you like, some you don't like. That's
Right.
okay. There'll be a next episode next month.
Correct.
Another episode next month. So, no, good job.
Thank you.
I hope the listeners like it.
I hope so too.
I liked it. I like this whiskey.
Me too, man. I really love this whiskey. I'm going to start drinking it right now.
And maybe on the outtakes, we'll talk about red rooms for a little bit.
Yes, let's do that.
Are we done?
We're done. Should I take you? Jay, take us home.
I am taking you home.
It doesn't mean it's shady. It just felt shady. I didn't actually smell
Definitely
anything.
sounds shady.
I didn't smell anything. I couldn't tell anything. Nothing was ticking or whatever, so.
Nothing was ticking.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's right. That's what I was looking for.
Wait,
Because modern bombs do be ticking.
I wanted to. There's a QR code on this bourbon nosing thing, and I downloaded an app, and it's like a trial. It's asking.
Oh, that's so annoying. I already hate this gift. I already hate everything about it. I want nothing to do with it. What do you remember about that old show?
What do you mean?
The Sad Satan, do you remember things about it?
I remember screaming.
Everyone remembers that. That's definitely
That's
in there.
what I remember.
That's definitely in there. Don't worry. Stop worrying. It's in there.
How many times do I have to tell you it's in there?
Got that. Been recording. You sound good. Actually, say something else to make sure.
Some of these smells aren't smelling in this bourbon nosing kit.
I do immediately regret asking you to talk.
Oh, because it's wrapped. I gotta unwrap it. That one is wrapped.
The lens cap was on.
Could you hear me okay?
Yes.
Am I all right?
Yes.
Ooh, that vanilla smells good.
First, before I tell you that, I have to tell you the story of what my roommate and I got each other. Because on Christmas, this is how nerdy we are. We have a Google Doc that we can both see. Shut the fuck up. Why are you laughing already?
It's supposed to be Christmas, man.
Hold on. You'll like this. Okay. You said you have a Prime wish list account that your wife bought you the thing, so same thing. So yeah.
It's not meant for Christmas. It's meant to put things in there that, like, for example, I want to get it.
Then I take it back.
I want to get an arcade down here.
That'd be cool.
I found an arcade on Amazon.
Then I'll be sleeping over more often.
Put it in my wish list. It's a little bit smaller than an actual arcade, but still.
Well, yeah.
It has like all the Mortal Kombats on there and a couple other games.
Yeah. When you go to the store, you just have to measure with your height, right?
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a Jason's height.
Say it, Jason.
arcade.
Right, sorry. I just went there because you said something. Anyway, so we have the Google Doc where in different tiers, so from up to $25 Lego sets, and then from 25 to 50 that we want, mind you, and then 50 to 75, 75 to 100, and then 100 plus. And the 100 plus could be up to whatever the most expensive one is.
Wow.
And on Christmas, we get each other a set in the one before the final one, so 75 to 100 range.
Oh.
And we have like I said, we have a list. I pick one. She doesn't know what I'm picking. She picked something. I don't know what she's picking. She picked the Bumblebee Transformers one for me.
I remember you mentioned that.
She gave that to me. But my mom also got me that on Christmas. So obviously wires were crossed there. So what I ended up doing is that it just not to be great because I went to Schaumburg to the Lego store there in Woodfield, and I went there to return it and exchange it and see what I can find. For $30 more at that time, I was able to get a set that is discontinued online already.
Oh, wow. And what is that?
It's the Icons Disney's villain set. It's like all the villain stuff. So it's like a VHS version of Aladdin, Jafar, and then Ursula with her thing, and the poisoned apple from. It's like all it made to look like a bookshelf.
That is cool.
It's like this high. It's pretty good.
Did you do a build on TikTok?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Not yet?
No, not yet. I'm doing like 3 others.
ones.
I'm doing the Bumblebee right now. I'm shooting that. I'm shooting all these other things. But
Nice.
yeah.
I think it's all bullshit. I think it's fake. Everything on TikTok is fucking fake. Or AI. You know what I mean? I say get rid of it. I don't think there's any point to it. Get rid of it.
So, legit, you're both right and wrong. In the sense, the right in everything you said, you're right. I'm sure you are. What you're wrong in is that you are being completely guided to have very specific types of videos pop up on your feed. You are. I get very different. I see a lot of other people's feed. They get a lot of weird shit. I don't get that. I get a lot of cute fucking cat videos.
Really? Oh, no, not me.
I get a lot of cute animals. I also get a
shit.
lot of like real nature stuff, like lions attacking zebras. I also get a lot of like engineering degree stuff that I looked up before just randomly, and some of them that look really interesting. They're real as far as I know. So yeah, I get very different things than you do.
So what is it? Do you think it's taking... Because I use Jason Knight. So do you think it literally like searched my name, found Supernatural Current Studies podcast, and
Probably puts your age in. Yeah.
Feeds me nothing.
Also, the fact that you know, the way you talk about it, you probably mentioned your disdain for TikTok. Maybe has immediately pegs you as some sort of anti-culture kind of old man. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. I'm just saying that you're right, but you're also a little wrong.
No, I get it. And I know there's people who make a living on there and stuff, which sucks.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
that sucks for that.
I also post, I mean, you know, they say a thing, like one person tried this out, and I looked up her account. It was real. I don't know if what she said was real, because you don't know for sure either, but
yeah.
What she said is that there's like a saying that if you post every day, no matter what, on TikTok, you can generate income. Almost, it doesn't matter what you're posting. Because that's how inconsequential fame on TikTok is, or fame online is. It's so inconsequential. We've lamented in the years of doing this show where we see like, how did this guy make millions of dollars? All he does is talk about action figures. You know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? Like, it's all in a weird, random vacuum. You don't know what's going to blow up or when or with who. And nobody can ever predict that, right? So that same applies to TikTok. But so this one girl said, like, you know, she heard that if you make a video every day and post it at least one a day, you can generate some money. And she did say, like, yes, I did actually make some money. It just didn't make nothing to live on. Nothing
retiring on it, but...
nothing like that at all. But like, there is something to that, but not exactly the way people are saying either, because obviously people will be doing it more often.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's hard to make sense of it. I get it.
I remember so many times that Talia came to me, or Nico came to me, now Nico, and asked me about stuff that they saw on TikTok. Like, Dad, is this real? Do you think it's true?
Is there? Can you
like, no,
can you think of an example of something that's blatantly false that they thought was true?
It's been a while, but no, I can't. Okay. But
you let them on it, right?
I do. Yeah. Nico's is monitored. Talia's is. I mean, she's 16.
Right.
You know, Katie still she watches, but
that's good.
Isn't that really good?
Yeah.
They taste like think about pancakes with butter and syrup. That's what that tastes like to me.
I can see some of that.
They did good. Yeah, just blatant bullshit stuff. And Dad, do you think it's real? No, don't believe it. Don't believe that shit.
Well, that's the downside of, we talked about how technology or certain parts of technology, like your phone or whatever, is an extension of Nico's body, and he can use it much better. This is also the downside of that is that
absolutely
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, when I pick up TikTok, it gets banned. So there you go.
Yeah, dude, that's the first thing I thought of was you. I almost texted you and stuff, and like, what the fuck did you do, Jay? Like,
it's all your fault, you fucker.
Did you call the Get Off My Lawn Commission on and put it on? Fucking, I don't know.
Let's just see.
You started a fucking what do you call it? Oh man, what is that political thing where people give money to congressmen? Lobbying. You started lobbying for it. I couldn't think of the word.
Here, let's just for the S's and G's, just 2 seconds. Let's see. What is in my feed?
Sir, you do not have permission.
Cop tries to arrest undercover FBI agent. This motherfucker is not an FBI agent. Okay, it's all bullshit.
Oh, I've seen those before. Yeah, they are bullshit. Yeah.
First guys to do these singleton missions.
Right. Joe Rogan.
You get Joe Rogan.
So the aliens have landed in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, I'm done
Yeah.
with that.
No, they didn't.
I've been watching.
They did not land in the Gulf of Mexico. Shut up.
Anybody ever studied body language? We studied it. So
Okay, maybe that guy's legit. Whatever. Are these UFOs proof that we're in a simulation? No, we're not in a fucking simulation, and it's really questionable if there's UFOs or not. Large organic mothership at Walmart, Oscar. Tracking at the end, this is a large organic mothership at Walmart. It's not. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so bullshit. Oh, is this the age one now?
Wait, hold on. Wait. I'm going to show you some of mine. I'm not showing you, but...
Someone who uses the phrase, it is what it is, trust me, they are dangerous.
Yeah, that's not Matthew McConaughey saying that. It's AI.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Of course.
Bullshit.
By the way, all of this is originated, and there's a lot more on Facebook, by the way. All this is on there, too.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Worse than this?
Oh, about the same, I would say.
So I looked at
maybe not worse, but about the same.
10 videos. Yeah. I would bet my life 7 of them were fake.
Here's mine. Just so much different. I mean, some of that is in here too, but not much.
So is this TikTok or Facebook?
Gen X, this is a skit. Gen X in 1995 about comparisons of generations. So it's just funny. And not
yeah, no, obviously that's
Severance.
Not trying to...
Ad for Severance.
Bro, we watched the first episode tonight.
Me too. I saw it at 3 in the morning.
Get fucked.
You're crazy.
No.
You're crazy. Stop
Dude,
it. Hold on.
Hell yeah.
Another skit.
I'm dealing with a bipolar man.
Another podcast of 2 guys talking about funny shit. They just do snippets from their shows.
There are 7 billion people in the world. Everyone.
This is a show. This is a description of a show, not a news article. TV show or a movie they're promoting. I know it is because I could tell. It's just describing a movie. That's all it is. Family Guy skit.
Okay.
I don't get anything like fake news.
Wow,
you know?
That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
We should do something on that, because that's interesting.
We've done the algorithm chats before.
Well, no, did we?
No, not like. Remember we talked about like, let's see if we can summon our own product placement by mentioning. That's like what we did.
Okay.
It didn't work out. I don't think we never touched back, but
you never did. That's right. But I do remember. You're right.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a real in-depth thing. Also, what did you hate about Severance?
Dude, it's just one of those shows that...
It just came back. I mean, how do you know you're going to hate it? You have to watch it.
Because I could tell already that it's going to be one of those shows, just like the first season, where it's just going to leave you hanging. It's just going to leave you hanging.
What are you talking about?
It's going to get stranger and stranger, and you're going to be begging for answers that are never going to... I guarantee
I mean, yes, but like, it's a puzzle show. What did you expect?
Answers. Some answers.
Wait. First of all... I mean, I don't have the wherewithal right now to give you a point-by-point thing. I would in a heartbeat.
You really got to catch up. Because even we...
Oh, no, I saw the first episode.
We were hooked.
I saw the first episode.
No. You got to catch up from the last season. Like, do you remember everything that happened in the last season?
I saw it last week.
Well, Katie and I were looking at each other. When we saw the recap, we're like, I don't remember any of this, you know?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
So, and then, this first one, fucking completely off-the-wall, weird... Like
it's always been that weird.
I like off the wall and weird as long as I know there's a payoff coming.
There is,
and I know there is no payoff coming, dude.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
Yeah, there is.
Let's do a friendly wager. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're set to hate something and then the wager,
I don't want to hate it. I want to like it.
Well, I'm saying if the wager is that you're gonna not hate it by the end, I mean, that's up to you.
My wager is there's gonna be no payoff.
Oh, I mean. Okay, first of all, I don't have all the information in my head to give you a point-by-point thing. I would love to, but I know for a fact that half the mysteries of this first season were solved in the first season. It's just that they then ask more questions based on the answers they give you.
I don't remember.
And I think that's what a good puzzle box is. They increase the world. They expand it as it goes along. I just saw the season finale of Silo, season 2. That's another puzzle box show. It's sci-fi. It's awesome. I love it. I was so worried. Everything hinged on the last episode because that's how they are. Puzzle boxes always hinge on the final episode. And I thought I did wonderful. What it did is it opened up the world further, but almost all the questions I had about some of the stuff, not everything because they can't answer everything, was explained, was answered. And that's how Severance felt to me in season 1. But again, I don't know. I mean, maybe wait until the season's over and then try watching a few more and not wait week by week. And maybe that would be more enjoyable for you.
It could be.
Because puzzle boxes are hard.
We're not going to stop.
Yeah.
But I could already... I have a feeling...
It's just that it's way too early for me to say this season sucks. It's way too early for me to say.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So that's just my opinion. But I hope you get back into it because I'm not like afraid from it at all. I'm like, I want to see what's next.
Yeah.
I saw the episode. I saw what Mark did. I think a lot of people are lying to his face. The whole heli thing, that was a wonderful angle. I did not see it coming. Is it actually heli? Has it been any heli or outie heli? Like I don't think we've been seeing heli this episode. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many great ways you can think about it. I can't wait to find out what happens. Huh. Like I think that answer we'll get in the season.
Did we find out in season 1 that Patricia Arquette was his wife?
No. Patricia Arquette was no one's wife.
They said it was his wife in this episode, the first episode, season 2.
Who said that?
One of the characters.
No. Whose wife? No.
Yeah, that Patricia, the first
Cobell.
Cobell, yeah.
Yeah.
Cobell was his, because remember Cobell kind of had she had this weird thing going on for him?
No one said that. You're talking about that scene when Milchek talks to Mark? Is that what you're talking about? Like when he's in charge, he's new to the office, he's at the old Cobell office, and he's talking about how he's basically, him and Lumen are distancing themselves, are putting all the blame on Cobell of what happened.
Right.
They're trying to pull everything on her because she just got fired and she's crazy, and no one knew that she was so involved in Mark's ass's real life. Right?
Which, because didn't they say that was his wife, though? That's why she was involved? I thought that's what
no
they
one said that. I'm positive. No one
Because
said
me and
that.
Katie looked at each other like, what?
No. Nope, nobody said that. Now, Mark has mentioned his own wife, I think, but not Cobell. And he talked about how Cobell and Mark, his Audi, knew each other because he was there at the party when he woke up in it last season.
Right.
But that's it. There's no one mentioned that they're related like that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'll watch it again, but I'm positive it didn't say that.
Well, there was something with Cobell where we looked at each other like, wait, did they...
I mean, Cobell's going to come back.
Oh, she has to.
She has to. That's a big name. But like, I just don't think it'll come back in any way of saying like, oh, I was Mark S's wife. She's way too old. And plus, she was his neighbor. Both versions of Mark don't like Cobell that way.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So there's no way that's true.
Well, what do you think, Seb? What do you think the company is?
Oh, I think it's first of all, I completely think it's a corporate thing. It's like a gigantic corporate, like Amazon, like any of those, like Elon Musk, what's his name, company? Tesla, like a Tesla type, right? I think it's like one of those, except that it's a too big to fail type, like Apple, and that add that to it is that they have this strange technology. That's the only real difference between our real world and the real corporate gigantic people or companies is that they have a tech that we don't have, as far as I know. That's the only difference. I think the rest of it acts just like corporate, like you ever been to a job and a manager will tell you like, we're like family here, right? Like everyone's like family, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they don't actually treat anyone like family.
No.
It's like Lumen took that to heart, and made it a cult for themselves. Like the way they think of themselves is so
culty.
grandiose, so
Yes.
egotistical.
What's the name of their god?
Egan.
Is it?
Well, that's the family name. Egans, the Egans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Trust me, I've seen the first season 3 times over the last year.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that show. I've been on all the Reddit chats. I've been fucking speculating with everyone. It's been fun.
Did you see what they did in New York?
Yes, I did.
That was pretty
I
cool.
watched that. TikTok showed me that, by the way.
Dude.
That's like one of the first things when they opened. So like, yeah,
That was pretty cool.
I saw that in like 4 different angles. Yeah.
Which characters were doing it?
All 4, though. Not
It was all 4?
all 4. Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Are you ready for more?
Oh, I will be. Okay. Dude, I love one of my favorite parts other than the heli reveal is who is I'm bad with the names. I know Mark, Heli, Bert. No, Bert is
I'm terrible.
the guy with the glasses, the black guy, in the group. I forgot his name.
The heavyset.
I can't believe I forgot his name. Yes, him.
With the bald.
When Milchek offered him to have family visits with his Audi family, I'm like, oh fuck, what does that mean? Is that real? Are they gonna be animatronic? I don't believe any of that. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And
My point is that it just got me excited for more. So
no, that's good. What was the big heli reveal again?
the reveal is that when they're all sharing what actually happened when they visited their Audi's
Wasn't
lives,
she lying?
she lied completely. She's like,
Yeah.
I was in an apartment all by myself.
That's right.
Obviously
With a
not.
band T-shirt.
So
on or
either
something?
they tortured her to convince her to fly for Lumen and not tell them that she's an Egan, or it's actually Egan. It's actually Helen, not Heli.
Oh,
That's what I think. No, I don't know.
because what did happen to her when she?
Remember, she woke up in the body of an Egan. She turned out she was one of the Egans. She's literally going to be the next CEO of Lumen.
Don't even remember that.
Oh, yeah. That was the last episode in the season.
Really?
Yes.
We both of us didn't remember.
The whole thing ended with them being... The whole episode was an entire episode where 3 of the 4 were living their Audi's lives. And their whole purpose was to let people know that they're being tortured down in the severance floor. That's the whole thing they went to do. They did this heist where they they got themselves free for 45 minutes or whatever it was. And Haley turned out to be the CEO's daughter of Lumen. And she went up to talk to all these people in some sort of grand gala thing that she was a part of.
Oh, I do remember.
Remember? Because she participated in the severance program to make up, like, oh, see how safe it is. The next CEO is going to be in it, is going to sever herself. That's how wholesome and normal we are,
That's right.
But it's all fake, of course, because obviously she is tortured down there. Helly hates herself. She tried to kill herself, right?
Yeah.
And so when she goes up there as Helly, in front of all the cameras and all those people, she just yells out like, hey, we're being tortured down there. It's not a great, help us.
I got to go back. I got to watch
That's how it ended. That's why, yeah. So when she lied, I was like, fuck,
Got it.
That's how I felt.
And Katie was when they caught it. She looked at me and she's like, that didn't happen. She's lying.
Right, yeah.
So, okay, I got to go back and watch.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
What we thought
That's
was
the
happening,
point. That is the point
You
of
think?
the movie. Mm-hmm. You nailed it. That's why part of why I made my top 10 and why I love the movie so much is because she's a sphinx the entire time. You're not supposed to understand.
No.
You don't. She's implacable, dude. Even up to her last decision, I don't know why she did it.
I don't know why she did it either.
But she did it.
Because our whole thing was, well, was she good or was she bad? And we don't know. Because Katie's like,
my
no.
personal thing is that I think she had a fetish, a very specific
So you
fetish.
think she liked it?
Part of the whole dressing up in the courtroom was that for me. That was a big foreplay. Spending all that money, all of her money. She spent all of her money on that video.
Well, okay, So, because that was our whole debate was she good or was she bad?
She also neglected and just threw away her career for this too.
Oh yeah, gone. So Katie was like, no, she's good because she bought the video, she got the proof, she put him in prison. I'm like, no, you're totally right. It seems like what she did, but why did she sit on that bed? Why did she go like this, take those photos like a fucking creep in that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
In the third victim's bedroom.
You know why?
To me, that blew it out of the water for me.
I think she gets off on it. I think she's setting up all these pictures of herself in that specific spot after what she did, after exactly what she saw. I think she has enough fapping material for the rest of her life. And I think she was doing it all for that. Now that she was done, she's like, fuck this guy, I don't need him anymore. Gives away the evidence. That's
so
what I think
bad.
she's doing.
So she's bad.
I do think she's bad.
So now going to the courtroom.
I mean, by how coldly she also dismissed that other person. I mean, she tried to kind of be friends with her, but
the
didn't care either.
Big-eyed woman.
She's very, like, sociopathic, maybe. I don't know.
Did you see she has armpit hair?
Yeah, that's very French.
I know. Yeah. Disgusting.
French-Canadian, but yes.
The courtroom thing, I didn't...
You never minded my armpit hair. Sorry.
No, because when she was playing racquetball the first time, I'm like, is that armpit hair? Katie's like, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, it is. So when she was in the courtroom, when she dressed like the little girl, I was into it because I'm like, oh, she's trying to get a reaction. She's trying to show the jury a reaction to this girl.
Yeah,
I thought she was trying to elicit a response from the murderer so the jury will convict. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, this is a good thing.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's a good... I never think of that. No, I was thinking the whole time. Yeah.
After the bed, I don't know if that was a good thing.
No.
I think it's more what you're saying. She was getting off on dressing like this.
I mean, I've never seen a movie explore the people that go and marry the serial killer once they're in jail. That's what we're watching. Except that this is a different version of it. So we never get that exploration before in a character like that. And this is the first movie that I've ever seen that do it. Because you never see their point of view.
So you think she was in love with him?
I think to an extent,
Or
in love with his
him,
actions, in love with what he did. Really? And part of this, and the fact that the scandal is like all over the country, it's also part of it. The fame of it too is probably part of it.
Whoa,
that's what I think. I mean, everyone has their kinks, no kink shame, but yeah. I mean, she went to those extremes.
Yeah.
And the other girl was just completely misguided.
She was a groupie,
misguided,
like a true crime fan kind of thing.
And she saw that video. She knew.
Oh. Yeah.
As she knew. She left right away. She's like, okay, yeah, he did it.
This is no good.
I saw the eyes, right? Those eyes and angelic no more.
He walked or something. Right, yeah. The way he walked.